straightforwardly, what do you look for when you're bringing on a new athlete into Solomon? You mentioned that like character has stuff to do with it, but when it's all virtual, I'm wondering like how you make those judgments and how you like discover athletes, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say, like, when I first took over, there was a lot of athletes on the team that are still on the team now, and there's a lot that aren't. And it was just kind of like things change. Like, I think at one point they had to have, maybe it was like 4 years ago, it was like they have to have this many like Facebook followers or like Instagram followers or something, and like the criteria has like shifted. And now for 2022, anyone that came in on like a 1 year or a new contract last year, I just basically took social media out of it. And
Really?
we have like an influencer team that's like in their communities, either online or in person. And those are influencers. And then these are athletes. And maybe like 4 times a year, I'll ask them to post or something, but I don't really look at social media unless there's like, okay, I'm looking for a male who, races the shorter distance, who's competitive, like who's like podium all the time. And if it came down to like 2 guys, then you could start to be like, okay, which one is like involved with the retailers in his area that could help with our brand? Like if our premium retailers are in that area and he has a good relationship with them, maybe that one makes the most sense. Or maybe they have 25,000 followers and the other one doesn't have social media, and it's like something that could like tick someone onto the other side, but it's definitely not like a top criteria anymore. But I was definitely earlier thinking, just like, other than that, like I look at like consistency in the sport. Like getting injured is just too easy. And when I look at athletes who maybe they haven't been winning for a really long time, or they haven't been super competitive, but they've been in the sport, they've consistently like improved. That's really interesting to me. And then their character for sure, and just the way that they like embody the culture of trail running, whether
Yeah.
they do or don't. And then ultimately, like I have to talk to these guys like every day sometimes. And so just they have to be nice. Like I always just tell them they have 2 jobs and it's to run fast and be nice. Because I'm like, I just want to make sure you're out there being nice to new runners, being nice to just if you're on a training run, and just having like that trail etiquette, or inviting people out on the trails, getting more people out, and having that kind of like character and personality that goes a long way. But then there's more tangible things. Like I always look at the ITRA. Is it International Trail Running Association
Yeah.
points?
Yeah.
And ultra sign up. And, every once in a while you'll get a resume that's like, I got first at this race, first at this race, first at this race. And you look and you're like, that 5K is different than this 5K.
Yeah.
And like, or you might have won that 50K and that's freaking sweet, but like, it wasn't like the 52K at Broken Arrow, or, something really competitive. So it's hard because, you are an elite athlete in your own right. But just sometimes being picky, it's hard for me too, because I'm like not at that level. So it feels really bratty to be like, get in there. But last couple of years I've made like tiers within our team. So it's like those people that like live and breathe running and they're competitive and they're just like pushing. Obviously that's like going to be more of our elite team. And then we have like a pro team who either maybe they're like coming up, or they're just sort of consistently winning national races. They don't really have an interest in racing international, but that's like where we have a lot of our team. And then we have like a community team that's super involved in their community. They're partnering up with retailers, doing group runs. They're still like winning races. They're getting on the podium at their local races. Everyone likes them. And then we have online influencers, and we have people like Lauren Fleshman and Ricky Gates, and like people who are kind of more like project based that we call our inspiration team.